At 38, I found a sense of pride each time I gazed into the mirror. Time had treated me kindly. Consistent exercise, diligent skin care, and a commitment to a wholesome lifestyle. Everything converged to maintain my youthful and appealing appearance. Nathan frequently expressed his admiration for my beauty, yet his demanding job often kept him away from home. At times, it would slip my mind entirely that he had even uttered those words. That morning, Nathan departed early for work. The house lay in serene silence, and I cherished these tranquil moments that allowed me to turn my attention inward. After some contemplation, I resolved to indulge in a refreshing shower. The soothing embrace of warm water, coupled with a touch of self-care, has always been a balm for my spirit. Entering the bathroom, I adorned my face with a mask before stepping into the cascading warmth of the shower. As the water enveloped me in its warmth, I sought to quiet the thoughts swirling in my mind. Stepping out of the shower, I slipped into my red lingerie. Red has always held a special place in my heart. It instilled in me a sense of strength and allure. As I toweled my hair dry, I caught a glimpse of myself in the bathroom mirror, gently removing the mask from my face. As I gazed at my reflection, a fleeting thought brushed through my mind: Nathan would have missed witnessing me in this light. Be sure to subscribe to my channel for more enthralling tales from real life. Stay tuned for the entirety of this video, as the unfolding narrative promises to be truly captivating. In that instant, Ethan's return had slipped entirely from my mind. Nathan's son had returned after his trials, yet, to be truthful, I still hadn't quite acclimated to his presence. The house typically belonged to Nathan and me alone, so I had completely overlooked his presence. The abrupt creak of the door swinging open jolted me from my reverie. "Ethan?" I nearly let out a scream. Ethan lingered at the threshold, deliberately steering clear of eye contact as he navigated the unfolding scenario in his mind. "Ah, Clara. I apologize." The door swung open before my eyes. I was about to step into the shower. His voice trembled, laced with a hint of embarrassment. Our gazes met. The gravity of that moment enveloped me. My hand moved toward the towel, yet it was already too late. Ethan's face flushed a vivid crimson, while an unusual current coursed through my entire being. "Ethan, have you truly never considered the art of knocking?" I spoke, striving to maintain a steady tone, though my voice trembled. Indeed." Apologies escaped his lips as he swiftly shut the door behind him. Yet, what has been done is irrevocable. In those fleeting seconds, the fabric of my existence unraveled, leaving chaos in its wake. This must surely be an accident, wouldn't you agree? Yet, what was the reason behind the rapid thumping of my heart? The sight of Ethan observing me in such a way ignited an unusual thrill within me. Though a wave of embarrassment washed over me, there was an undeniable thrill that accompanied it. I attempted to gather my composure and shut the door, yet my thoughts incessantly revisited the instant I emerged from the shower and the way Ethan had gazed at me. I had never felt so vulnerable, so laid bare. How peculiar. Embarrassment washed over me, yet a thrill coursed through my veins. For a time, I remained oblivious to the unfolding events around me. As I approached the mirror, a wave of confusion enveloped me. I gazed at my reflection, the red lingerie embracing my form, radiating with allure. My body, shaped by the passage of time, retained a youthful and alluring quality. Though I had reached the age of 38, the passage of time had been kind to me. It encompassed more than merely my body, my eyes, my hair, it was everything. All remained vivid and invigorating. My muscles felt strong and defined from my workouts, while my skin exuded a soft, smooth, and flawless quality. Witnessing that infused me with resilience. Yet, as I gazed at my reflection, an odd thought crossed my mind: Ethan's eyes, always so observant, lingered in my memory. I find myself pondering the true perception he held of me. What thoughts occupied his mind? To what extent did he scrutinize me? A part of me struggled to quell these thoughts, yet I found myself unable to resist them. As I surveyed my reflection, a sense of pride welled up within me for my physical attributes. How delightful I appeared in my crimson undergarments. In a fleeting moment, the memory struck me that Ethan sometimes emerges from the shower clad in nothing but a towel. A sudden flicker danced in my eyes. Ethan has consistently exuded a striking handsomeness. He possessed a remarkable physical presence. Yet, as I began to perceive him in that light, a cascade of other emotions began to unfurl within me. To ponder his existence within me, to experience a sentiment for him. What had once been a mere flicker of attraction in my mind now echoed with an unexpected intensity throughout my being. Before I realized it, I found myself holding my breath, tracking his movements with my gaze once more. Yet, the voice of guilt began to echo within me. Nathan. Indeed, he was a part of my life as well. Aged 47, he stands as a testament to success in the world of business. His relentless dedication to work left little room for us. At times, I found myself pondering the very foundation of my marriage with Nathan. Did we truly find happiness? Perhaps I have simply grown accustomed to the solitude. I've finally grown accustomed to him. Nathan appeared to have drifted away from me. Recently, following an extensive business trip, I came to the unsettling realization that it seemed as though he never truly cared for me at all. They endeavored to mend it, yet the familiar warmth had vanished. Nathan was so absorbed in his work that he truly had no time to spare for me. The evening unfolded like any other, steeped in the familiar cadence of routine. Nathan returned from work and shared dinner with us. Everything else remained unchanged. Yet, in that moment, he uttered a single sentence. He mentioned that we are heading to a party tomorrow. In that instant, it seemed precisely what I required to divert my mind from the swirling thoughts of the past few days. Indeed, a celebration. An exceptional chance to spend time with Nathan. A few weeks back, upon first learning of the party, I envisioned a solitary evening spent with Nathan. Enjoying the evening in his company. Capturing his focus. Igniting a spark of enthusiasm. Yet, at that moment, Ethan made his entrance. I have a flight tomorrow evening, he remarked. I am embarking on a visit to see a friend. You both should attend the party by yourselves. When you return, I will have already taken to the skies. Ethan had always been this way. As I reflected on his youthful exuberance and sense of freedom, it became clear why he found it so effortless to engage in such pursuits. Nathan, however, was utterly absorbed in his work. He was indifferent to matters of that nature. I found myself with an opportunity to attend the party, yet Nathan's gaze carried a certain distance, a remnant of the past few weeks. Nevertheless, I felt the urge to demonstrate my affection for him. I decided to put on something a little more polished. I slipped into a striking red dress that hugged my figure with elegance. I applied my makeup and styled my hair to the best of my ability. Everything done solely to capture Nathan's attention. However, events unfolded differently than anticipated. Following the party, regardless of how stunning I appeared, I found myself without that coveted night alone with Nathan. He planned to venture out with his friends, cloaked in the pretense of a business meeting, leaving me solitary at home. Once more, solitude enveloped me. Isolated. A fracture formed deep within me. Uncertainty clouded my mind, yet a profound sadness enveloped me. That night I had anticipated sharing with him eluded my grasp. Upon my arrival at home, I found myself inebriated. Isolated. I felt shattered. As I ascended the stairs and shed my garments, I found my gaze drawn solely to the fact that, after all the anticipation and dreams of an evening with Nathan, I stood there clad only in my black lace underwear. My frustration intensified. The crimson gown, the artistry of cosmetics. All efforts proved futile. A sense of emptiness enveloped me. In that moment, a flicker of anger ignited within me. Yet, I found myself contemplating the necessity of taking action to navigate through this night that left me feeling so shattered. Without hesitation, I made my way to the kitchen. Perhaps a beverage. Perhaps a cigarette. I found myself in need of a mental cleanse. I simply yearned for a brief respite. To gather my thoughts and regain my composure. I approached the fridge, filled a glass with alcohol, then retrieved a pack of cigarettes and ignited one. The smoke left my throat feeling oddly fatigued. This evening, it seemed as though time had frozen, leaving everything suspended before me. In that instant, an unforeseen event unfolded. A footstep echoed, drawing my gaze swiftly to the kitchen door. Ethan had returned to the familiar embrace of home. His return was a mystery to me, and the reasons for his presence eluded my grasp, yet in that moment, I found myself utterly astonished. I had envisioned a serene evening spent in solitude with Nathan, but now, encountering Ethan before me stirred an unexpected turmoil within. Ethan was meant to depart, yet the course of his friend's plans had shifted unexpectedly. His flight was unexpectedly cancelled. A thought that had never crossed my mind. And now, we found ourselves, standing in the kitchen, mere inches apart. There I stood in the kitchen, enveloped in a haze of confusion. It was entirely unforeseen to find Ethan standing before me in this manner. There I was, draped in black lace lingerie, an act that felt entirely out of character for me. Yet, that is precisely how he discovered my presence. I inhaled deeply, making an effort to avert my gaze from him. Overwhelmed by a sense of embarrassment. "I apologize, Ethan," I murmured, my voice quivering slightly. "I had no idea you were present. I must admit, I didn't expect it to feel so strange to encounter you here." I bowed my head, avoiding any chance of meeting their gaze. The tumult of emotions swirling within me eluded my attempts at expression. Yet Ethan, betraying no hint of surprise, moved closer with a serene composure. In his eyes, a subtle shift occurred. He hesitated briefly, then gently inquired, "Why are you crying, Clara? What has you feeling so troubled?" His voice carried an unusual quality. This time, it resonated with a deeper sincerity, a palpable sense of emotion. His eyes appeared to penetrate deep into my very essence. With each step he took, a smile spread across his face. Yet, it was more than merely a smile gracing his lips. It resided within his gaze as well. My mind swirled with chaos, for in that instant, I sensed that he was impacting me not only in a physical sense but also on an emotional level. My emotions were in a tangled web. Yet, within me, there resided something entirely distinct. Ethan's gaze held a sincerity that drew me in, compelling me to step closer rather than retreat in fear. His words only served to deepen the confusion swirling within me. Gradually, I raised my gaze, and there it was, the genuine look etched upon his features. His gaze was so intense that it seemed he was not merely near me in body, but also deeply connected to me in spirit. In that fleeting instant, I became acutely aware of my own fragility. The disappointment of not experiencing the evening I had envisioned. Suddenly, tears began to stream down my cheeks. As Ethan approached, he gently murmured, "Clara, are you aware of how beautiful you are?" His words brought a flicker of relief, yet they also left me in a state of disbelief. "Nathan's inability to provide you with the attention you deserve, all due to his work commitments, has not gone unnoticed," he continued. "Yet you are truly extraordinary and radiant, and you are worthy of experiencing this night." His words offered a modicum of comfort, yet my emotions remained in turmoil. The turmoil within me was so intricate and profound that even the proximity to him seemed to hinder any chance of returning to normalcy. Ethan's eyes were so profound that I found myself adrift within their depths. In that instant, my thoughts came to a standstill, and gradually, I moved another step closer to him. Ethan remained motionless, astonishment etched on his face as I advanced a step closer to him. The shift in his gaze was palpable, a silent storm brewing within. In that fleeting moment, a whirlwind of emotions surged through me, leaving me bewildered. Then, as if time itself had conspired, everything unfolded in an instant. The tumult of emotions within me clashed with an irresistible urge to press my lips against his. In that fleeting instant, my only desire was to draw nearer to him and surrender completely. In a fleeting surge of spontaneity, I pressed my lips against Ethan's. It unfolded in an instant, leaving me unprepared for the whirlwind that followed. With my eyes shut tight, The moment our lips touched, it felt as though time itself had come to a standstill. The warmth enveloped me, my heart raced, and I could sense the tautness in his form. In a fleeting moment, all of this caused me to lose sight of everything else. In that moment, I sensed Ethan poised, anticipating my kiss in return. The heat upon my lips unmistakably revealed the intensity of his reaction. Gradually, as his hand found its way to my waist, the space that once separated us vanished entirely. In an instant, the intricate tapestry of emotions within me transformed into an overwhelming surge of longing. Upon hearing his breath, I instinctively drew myself nearer to him. Swiftly, we glided from the kitchen into the living room, our lips remaining entwined. With each stride, our bodies met the walls, and in that charged moment, we held each other closer. As Ethan's hands explored my body, we brushed against the walls and made our way toward the living room door. In that moment, we unexpectedly found ourselves on the couch in the living room, sitting side by side, breathless. Ethan had abandoned his trousers in the kitchen. Beside the couch, my black lace underwear rested on the floor. I came to understand the peculiarity of that moment. Yet, in that very moment, I found myself utterly adrift. I blinked awake, my gaze settling on him as I inhaled deeply. Ethan, observing the rapid turn of events, caught the look on my face and offered a subtle smile. His eyes revealed the depth of his feelings for me. He inhaled deeply, met my gaze, and asked, "Clara, what happened? What prompted us to take this action?" With a mix of surprise and relief, I turned my attention to where he was looking. Words eluded me, yet the need to speak was undeniable. It merely occurred. In that fleeting instant, I spoke, my gaze drifting toward him. "However, I'm uncertain. I simply wish to express the emotions that dwell within me. I believed there was no alternative to spending this night as I am." Ethan nodded, his fingers weaving gently through my hair. "Is it truly inappropriate for us to draw this near?" he inquired. Ethan's hands rested on my waist, his fingers exploring my body, leaving a profound impression with each fleeting moment. My breath came in shallow gasps. With a gaze locked onto mine, he inhaled deeply and drew closer, closing the distance between us. Gradually, he started to articulate his thoughts, as though he were revealing a hidden part of himself. "Betrayal has found me, Clara. I found myself navigating through a particularly challenging period. However, at this moment, I feel entirely transformed," he remarked. I was taken aback by the sincerity in his voice. In that moment, a sense of relief washed over me. He moved a step nearer, and I found myself enveloped in the profoundness of his gaze. "My connection to you feels incredibly intimate. These emotions astound me. Yet, I sense your presence, Clara. I sense your presence. Nearly there." In a fleeting moment, a whirlwind of emotions surged within me, my heart racing with intensity. Ethan's words revealed the peculiar intricacies of it all. Yet, there lingered a certain something. In that instant, the sense of intimacy enveloped me. His method, his approach was captivating, drawing me in with each deliberate step. The echoes of my thoughts resonated within me, transforming my perception in an unprecedented manner. Gently, as I reconnected with his gaze, I murmured, "I was alone, Ethan. I found myself in a profound solitude. Yet at this moment, everything feels remarkably altered. At this moment, I experience a sensation unlike any I've felt before. Youthful, exhilarated, and adrift. Something feels different," I murmured, my voice quaking. At that moment, articulating my emotions proved to be quite a challenge. Yet, the emotions Ethan stirred within me were undeniably tangible. At that moment, the door swung open. A voice emerged. "Clara." "Nathan." He entered the room, his eyes widening in disbelief as he beheld the two of us. In that instant, time stood still. Time appeared to stand still. Ethan and I locked gazes, a stillness enveloping us as uncertainty hung in the air, leaving us both at a standstill. Nathan was attempting to unravel the complexities of what was transpiring between us. His face was a canvas of shock and anger. His eyes widened, and for a fleeting moment, he stood still, breath caught in his throat. And that was the moment when chaos erupted. "What on earth is happening here?" he spoke, his tone harsh and filled with fury. In a heartbeat, chaos erupted, spiraling beyond comprehension. Nathan's voice thundered, brimming with fury. The tremors reverberated through the very walls of the house. His eyes were filled with a tumult of anger and disappointment. "What on earth is happening here?" he inquired. Yet shortly thereafter, it became less about the inquiry and more about the fury and resentment that was etched across his features. He pivoted towards Ethan, his hands trembling as he pointed in his direction. "Leave this place immediately. You no longer belong in this house," he said, his voice trembling. "She is my wife. She is your mother. It was unwise to involve her in this matter. What on earth were you thinking, huh? How could you both simply overlook me in such a manner?" Words eluded me. Shock enveloped me completely. My eyes brimmed with unshed tears, yet I remained composed. In that instant, Nathan directed his blame towards me, casting a shadow over everything and making it seem as though the weight of it all rested solely on my shoulders. What was it that I was meant to express? Was it even possible for me to react to his fury? "What is it about Clara? What on earth compelled you to take this action?" Nathan pressed on, undeterred. "What have I done to deserve this? How can one find a way to cope with the loss of both a husband and a son? This is how it should be done." Your gaze met mine, yet the words that escaped your lips were nothing but falsehoods. That is all. Inside, I felt shattered, yet silence enveloped me, preventing a single word from escaping my lips. My eyes brimmed with tears. Yet, despite the depths of my sorrow, words eluded me, refusing to escape my lips. Nothing was destined to alter. I was already aware of that. Nathan's voice rang out, "Oh, come on, get out. There's no place for you two in this house anymore," as he forcefully ushered us toward the door. Ethan and I shared a gaze that spoke volumes. Silence enveloped us for a time, yet an unspoken understanding lingered, revealing the turmoil we both harbored within. After a moment, Ethan spoke with a sense of calm, "Let's go." I inclined my head in agreement. "It's time for us to leave this place behind." Upon stepping outside, the tears flowed endlessly. The weight of guilt within me was so immense that even tears seemed inadequate to alleviate it. My mind was in a whirl. Uncertainty enveloped me, leaving me at a loss for direction and purpose. All unfolded in the blink of an eye. I had plunged into action without a moment's reflection, and now I found myself ensnared in the chaos that was unraveling around me. Being with Ethan, the weight of my past actions loomed over me, gnawing at my insides. How could I have possibly done this? I murmured softly to myself, my hands shielding my face, tears continuing to flow. What words did I share with Nathan? In what ways did I let him down? With each step, the weight of regret intensified. I was acutely aware of my uncertainty, yet there lingered a belief that these emotions would eventually fade away with the passage of time. Ethan withdrew, yet his departure sparked a fleeting flicker of hope within me, if only for an instant. Proceed. Proceed with it. Everything is about to change for me now, I remarked, my gaze following him as he walked away. With determination, I advanced another step. Eventually, solitude, even amidst the shadows that enveloped me, would guide me back to the light. In that fleeting moment, I inhaled deeply and discovered a wellspring of strength within me. I shall persevere through this challenge. In some way, I would rediscover myself once more. A new beginning would unfold. If you've journeyed this far, it's clear that the narrative has captivated your imagination. There is an abundance of insights to convey, and you certainly wouldn't want to overlook a single detail. Be sure to tap that follow button. Activate notifications and share your thoughts on this narrative.